Oh, don't you just love when that
What's
happens?
it saying?
Just gonna keep communities safe.
Alright, so we are live. We've got Dad coming in soon. We are going to be reviewing Christmas Story live. It is Christmas night. Knew that if we did this as a normal review, probably wouldn't have been able to get it out in time. We probably could have, but wanted to just do it live, so then we wouldn't have to do it live.
Yeah.
So then we don't have to worry about editing it, not getting it out in time for Christmas, because it currently is obviously Christmas Day. This is live. We are joined today by my dad, Barry.
Merry Christmas.
And my mom, Karen.
Merry Christmas.
So I saw, I'm going to try to read the chat.
Got JoJo and Kaylin in here.
Yep, glad to see everyone in here. So, and obviously you can watch this back.
Mount Warriors.
It'll be posted afterwards. And I hope you enjoyed our thumbnail. Hopefully it wasn't too disturbing. We want to start out with, I guess, Jake, do you want to start out with you and your overall thoughts of Christmas Story?
Yeah, I mean, overall thoughts, it's definitely a movie that I remember from a kid. This is like Christmas Eve night watching this in the morning, and just how it would always be on every 2 hours, and that's really like a tradition that has started when I was a kid and has gone all the way throughout so far. And it's definitely a classic and one that I really enjoy. One of the best Christmas movies made, probably.
Those lights are freaking me out. Mom, your thoughts?
My overall thoughts are, I think that this movie is one of my favorites in how it captures the excitement that kids have for Christmas. So it really talks about that building up of Christmas, the days and the moments leading up to Christmas. I feel like it captures that the best.
Dad, your thoughts?
No, just a great Christmas classic, like Jake said, that we look forward to every year, and definitely one that I remember, as a kid. It was obviously came out in 1983, so I was 13 years old, and ever since we've been watching that as a family and talking about it as well.
Yeah, this is the classic Christmas movie. It is called A Christmas Story because it's just a normal family, and it's nothing insane happens. It's just like a normal Christmas, around Christmas time, and you got the classic characters. It's a perfect movie, perfect Christmas movie for sure. I don't know if it's my favorite because there's so many good ones, but there's no doubt it's a classic. Every scene's perfect, and I guess do we want to go into our main positives? Why don't we, Jake, just want to say like a couple positives?
Yeah, how we ever do the favorite movies, just do like kind of our favorite scene or just
Yeah.
positives. It's a little bit different than.
Go into like something you really like. We can say
Yeah.
something we really like, and then
Something-
go into favorite line, scene, and
I mean, something I really like about this movie is just the family dynamic and just the storyline. It's narrated by, I think it's in the story or the case of the movie, it's supposed to be Ralphie as an adult, I think, voicing over, and so it's like someone telling the story back. And it's just kind of told as it's almost like a story, and it's like year in and year out how Christmas. I mean, even though every year is different, Christmas is usually the same as far as traditions, what you do, and the build up to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And just that time of year. I think this movie does a great job of depicting that time of year, while also telling some stories that aren't necessarily for everyone, as far as like the bullying and all that stuff. I mean, it's like it's a side story, but still, it's a good movie, and it does a good job of like encapsulating the Christmas time of year.
So just my favorite overall.
just like some things you like. Just
Yeah, some things I like. I love just like the dynamic of the family. So the dad, I think, is hilarious. He makes me laugh like throughout the movie. I think that the parents, now being a parent, I appreciate like the mom always like cooking when they said she never gets to eat a hot meal because she's constantly cooking, getting things ready, getting the kids ready for school, even the dad. So I think the parents are pretty funny in this movie.
No, just positives all around. I mean, this is like I said, it's been a great movie. I feel like it's obviously a throwback movie that reaches multi-generational gaps here, and for me, definitely what I remember as a traditional Christmas environment. All the things that all the characters do and what they lead up to. I was fortunate enough to experience a lot of that when I was a kid, so I really loved the movie. Positives, everywhere as far as for the season and towards the family and our country.
Yeah, it is. I think the best thing about it is as watching it as a kid and now watching it as an adult, it is definitely very similar. It's a really good depiction, like you said, of Christmas, the build up to it, the gifts you want, and then like wanting a gift, and then I mean, in this movie, obviously Ralphie wants the BB gun. That I actually have that exact BB gun. It's really funny with all the build up to that. I'm trying to think.
Probably why you have that BB gun.
Yeah, maybe. There's doing this live is something because I probably would be editing this out. I think that they're obviously the parents are really funny. You've got Ralphie, the main character, is great. His little brother, it's the main group, and then you've got the bully character, which it's kind of like the whole movie is kind of building up to scene with the bully, I guess, to a point. It's like there's just a lot of iconic scenes. That's why we want to go into maybe like a favorite line, a favorite scene.
My favorite scene for me, I was down to two. I'll just pick one just in case someone else wants to take this one. I'll say it, no one says it. But I definitely have to go with, it's a pretty random scene, but one that I always thought is the funniest scene in the movie when the dogs get in the house. But then, I think it's either the first time or the second time, whichever time that he shuts the dog's ear in the door. I think it's actually the first time. That scene's always one that's probably my favorite of the movie.
Mine is at the very end when they they're in the Chinese restaurant and they're singing that Christmas song with a rah rah rah, and the mom's laughing and they chop the head of the. He says he's smiling at me and he chops the head. That just makes me laugh every time.
It's a good one.
Now,
Favorite scene?
Yeah, great scenes all the way throughout this movie. One I would highlight as a small one is obviously when the big award package comes that he reads is like an Italian word, fragile, which obviously is fragile. But going into the end as well, not only the whole scene of them getting ready for obviously opening presents, going through that whole morning, but then going into the scene where the dogs ruin what was going to be a perfect meal with a big turkey. But how it ends eventually as the movie ends, when they're sitting there relaxed, the kids are in bed, it's been a big day, and they're just sitting there by the tree with the scenery outside of a white Christmas and the snow coming down. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny scenes with the dogs and the furnace. I think the best scene, probably, even though there's a bunch of them, is probably when the leg lamp breaks and the dad and mom get in an argument. And she used up all the glue.
On purpose.
It's the classic scene. Obviously, all these scenes, most people have seen all these.
And
you
she's
remember
laughing in the background.
Yeah. So most of these you don't even need to say them because it's just such a memorable movie. But I'd say that's probably my favorite scene, maybe line. The whole leg lamp is iconic.
The big award, right?
The major award.
Yeah.
The major award.
And I see some people saying Merry Christmas in the chat. You got JoJo, Kaylin said Merry Christmas. And said at least the dogs were still cute. Yeah,
the dog that runs back and grabs that like extra piece of chicken.
Yeah.
He's like or turkey. It's pretty funny.
It's definitely a lot of dogs. What are they, hounds? Some kind of beagles?
Yeah.
The Bumpus's dogs.
What kind of dog?
I think they were
Like
kids said
hounds.
bloodhounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed the
Hunting dog.
UK reactions had a comment in there.
The UK reaction said seeing Avatar 2 tomorrow. Wow, that's crazy.
His theater was closed too.
Man,
Wow.
it's crazy. Sounds like your UK reaction.
Stay tuned for that for this channel, our review of Avatar 2. Might be filming that after midnight tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll be doing that a post Christmas review if you're ever getting to see it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think. This movie, like I said, you can just every scene, line, moment is great. There's a lot of funny things for the furnace. And I mean, this is a different time, so the way the furnace was made and what it run by was there's a lot of bleeping and different language used. There's obviously the classic "Oh fudge" line.
Mm-hmm. I like the whole "You'll shoot your eye out" the whole time throughout. The teachers, the mom, Santa Claus, and then when he finally shoots his gun, he's like, "I shot my eye out."
Yeah,
it's classic.
That's obviously that's like the main theme of the movie is he's trying to convince everyone that he wants to get the gun. And then he messes up like that. Do we want to give like a favorite line? I we said favorite scene.
Yeah, I mean it's
favorite line. Is that kind of the same thing?
I just said mine was "You'll shoot your eye out."
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of a different line that hasn't been said yet.
Yeah,
It could be maybe when the dad's looking at the chords. We already mentioned that. If one throws one too
Statue
many.
chord.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's classic.
I think Fred Geely was one, but I
Fred
also think
Geely.
what I was thinking of with my favorite line, it's one that's really not there. They kind of go over it, like Kenny said, it probably would be a lot of foul language. So they kind of throw different words in there that I think are really funny that cover it and keep it a good family movie.
Yeah, there's the Santa Claus that the funny scene where he doesn't want to tell Santa Claus he wants a BB gun, and he does, and he kicks him down the slide.
I think at the very beginning when they say that Christmas is the day that the kids' whole year revolves around, like
Yeah.
Christmas. They say it better. I can't think of the exact
I think
words.
the dad at Christmas when he's receiving certain gifts.
A blue ball.
A blue ball,
Well, yeah.
a can of
Simon
Eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, them opening the gifts, and the whole thing about like them waiting for Christmas and then waking up is just exactly how I felt as a kid. So that was done very well, and I think that's why this movie's so popular. It's because it just really encapsulates that for sure.
Shall I give scores?
Yeah, we could give a final thoughts and score, I guess, because I don't know if we have anything else to cover. Unless if anyone
Can we
wants
start?
to say anything, you can type in the chat.
Do you want to say it?
I mean, I'll say, obviously, I know this channel, people like to say we whip around 10s around for different movies. I haven't really given a 10 in a while here, so
Yeah.
I'd like to go back and check that out. But this one, though, as far as rewatchability goes, it's one of the most rewatchable movies that we've had, that I've seen in my lifetime. So just that alone and just thinking about it, there really are no negatives. It obviously is a nostalgic thing for me as well. So maybe there are mistakes that I wouldn't notice just because it's a great Christmas movie. I'm going to have to go with a 10 out of 10 for this one. Because again, I'm judging it off of a Christmas movie, a rewatchable factor, and just the comedy, the acting, the storyline, and it's just a good movie to watch at this time of year. And there's a reason why that we think that, because there's 2 channels that play it on a 24-hour marathon each Christmas, or Christmas Eve into Christmas. So I would definitely go with a 10 out of 10 for A Christmas Story, 1983.
I'm gonna also go with the 10 out of 10, which I know I never do that, but this, just like Jake said,
Really?
it's
Top
definitely, you can watch it again, over and over again. It's one that I want to see every year. It makes me remember my childhood. It's very nostalgic, and it's a feel-good Christmas movie that you want to see every year.
Yeah, easy 10 out of 10. This is a classic. This is in a rare category of maybe 10 movies in my lifetime that definitely echo into greatness. And I just think this movie, I really appreciate with how they made it and everything that they did amongst that movie. Not only as a kid, but now as an adult, I enjoy it, and it's definitely one of the more quoted movies throughout my family at family get-togethers, especially around the holidays. So 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to go with a 10 out of 10 as well. This movie has quote after quote, memorable scene after memorable scene. You can just keep watching it. There's no bad scene. All the characters are perfect. They all are just have their place, and it's just a feel-good Christmas homey movie, and it's a perfect movie. I think we all agree with that. I don't know anyone that doesn't like this movie, but there's a reason why it's on 24 hours, like you said.
Yeah, I think they did a great job too of making sure they not only it was a great movie, but they did a lot with the detail that you guys cover in other movies of during that time period and what went on in the old days, I guess.
Yeah, because it feels like it was filmed back in
Feels like a 60s movie.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
Now,
Or is it 50s? When was that?
50s movie.
And the other crazy thing is, all right, you want to say something?
or you go.
The other crazy thing is,
Maybe I was thinking not a negative, but you can end on a positive one. It's not really negative. It's not really the movie's fault that it plays 24 hours straight on 2 different channels, to where sometimes the sounds can get a little repetitive and a little bit annoying of certain characters. But that's not really the movie's fault. That's just because it's on 10 different TVs. You hear the same kids crying, or someone's tongue being stuck in a pole. I wouldn't say it's the sound I want to hear all the time, but that's not really a slight of the movie. It's just the fact that it's just played so much. But that would be any movie for that matter. But yeah, that was another scene there when they're in the classroom and they look out. But yeah.
yeah, the one thing that I saw a post that the Ralphie actor is this character in Elf.
He's one of the elves in
Which
the
is,
movie Elf. What's his?
I don't know if you can even see this or not.
He's-
But this elf and Elf is they're the same actor. You know,
yeah,
it's something
it
that
is
someone said
rare,
it changed their childhood figuring it out, which is a little weird.
but it is. I think he's like one of the only. He's been in two Christmas
Two
movies that
famous
are like iconic Christmas movies, and as a kid, and then as
Yeah,
a
two
sub-character, and
of the
off
most
character.
famous ones.
Yes.
Yeah. So a collective 40 out of 40, and everyone.
That's a lot of
Yes.
points.
And thank you to everyone who was able to join this live stream. I know it was very short notice, but we wanted to be able to do the live stream on Christmas Day to review A Christmas Story. And make sure you keep an eye out on the channel for our review for Avatar coming soon. Hopefully, if we get into the theater, it's not closed. But anyone else have anything to say?
Yeah.
Hope everyone had a great Christmas, and hope you have a really good rest of your holidays.
And Happy New Year.
Not yet.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Live.